How's it going, guys? It's Eclipse here, and today's video is on the latest update news, how you can take advantage of it to have the best kind of games that you can possibly have, and also just use it to the best of your ability to be able to get more silver every single game, and also grind up through some of the tech trees that are available on this OnTrack event. We've got another new premium tank that I'm going to give my opinion on, and then give a bit of a discussion as to what's coming this week. So first things first, this is for tomorrow's update. This will be from the 1st of June until the 8th of June. You'll have an OnTrack event for both Italy and Sweden. So not only will you just have a usual one OnTrack event whereby you usually just get Italy on its own or you just get Sweden on its own, you've got them both together. And they've given you some discounted bundles as well as part of this, on top of the weekly bundles that you tend to get every single week. We don't know what those are yet, and I'll go through them when I can tomorrow in tomorrow's video. And then we've got some gameplay videos towards the latter half of the weekdays. So yeah, first things first, what is these OnTrack events? What can you do? How can you take advantage of them? Well, the first thing is obviously, if you've seen an OnTrack event before, it's where you get a 25% XP bonus every single game that you play in either an Italian or a Swedish tank. So for those of you who are trying to get towards the UDES 16, if you're trying to get towards some of the other Italians, the Progetto, the Tier 10, if you're trying to get some of the Swedish TDs, then this one will be a great one for you. Now alongside this, what you also get is a 50% discount on silver for tiers 3 to 6, a 30% off of tiers 7 to 10. So if you're trying to get the premium or not the non-premium tanks within these two, then they will be at a 30% discount between these tiers, the tier 7 to tier 10. Now what that means is that you'll be earning more XP, and we'll get onto that in this video, and you'll also be earning more silver. We'll get onto that in just a second. But what it enables you to do is basically get down the tech tree lines much faster than any other tech tree line, as long as you're using the same kind of setup on both. Obviously, if you use boosts on one and not the other, you'll get faster on the other one. But if you combine both the boost operations that you can get in-game, the ×2 XP boost, up to ×5, I think you can get as the maximum per game, plus this bonus, which it does stack towards. So you will get, if you've got a ×5, it will be effectively a 525% XP bonus. They don't stack in terms of it will give you an extra 25% on the 500%, so it wouldn't give you like a 150% extra XP, if that makes sense. But they do stack together, so they'll combine into 525% more XP. Now what that means is obviously you'll get towards the tier 10 faster, and that's obviously everyone's goal. You want to get to completing the tech tree. Obviously if it's not and you're just playing to 3 mark the tanks as you go through, then you don't have to take too much of a kind of liking to this event, and it's kind of there for those of you who are trying to grind through these lines. If you're already grinding through them, you'll basically save a lot of silver. So if you're already on these lines, you'll basically it will be nice to have this discount whereby you can just get the tier 10s and the tier 9s, tier 6s, whatever tier you are at on the nation's tech tree, you'll just get it faster and at a discount. So everyone's going to be happy with this, I think. I don't think there's much you can be really disappointed about when it comes to these operations. But there are a few things I do want to note with regards to the kind of negatives of this for the matchmaker and these OnTrack events in just a second. Now, we talked about the silver bonus and what that basically means for the game. Well, this is unusual. Usually what they don't do with these OnTrack events is give any sort of silver bonus, and I know that what's probably been kind of adding towards the silver bonus kind of thing in this game is obviously that new game mode whereby a lot of people are actually grinding out silver on the World War II mode to play the Cold War game mode on World of Tanks console. So that's kind of a key area and incentive for them to boost up the silver earning potential of everyone so they can get everyone to start playing the new mode. But if you're not interested in that and you're just trying to get some new tanks on the World War II, then this is a great event for you as well. Now, the Italian silver bonus challenges is basically whereby if you're playing I think if you play in an Italian, or no, even this is for everyone. So if you destroy 2 tanks in multiplayer battles with an Italian tank, you'll receive 25% silver bonus. So this is really, really good. It can be completed only in World War II, so obviously, because there's only Italian tanks in World War II, there aren't any in Cold War as of yet. Now, it also works in the reverse, so you can also get 25% bonus silver if you destroy an Italian tank. So if you're coming up against Italian ones in the matchmaker, you'll get this extra 25% silver bonus, and this challenge can only be completed on World War II, so, obviously, because there aren't Italian tanks. So what this means is you, along with getting the 25% bonus XP, you can pretty much, as long as you play a fairly average game, you'll be getting 25% bonus silver. The one kind of key thing about this, though, is that you will also be able to pick up some premium tanks that are Swedish or Italian, and this will basically mean that you can earn 25% bonus silver on these premium tanks that you will get as well. So that's kind of a key thing, an incentive, I guess, for you to actually purchase some of these tanks. And I'll show you which the bundle I would choose if I was going to purchase some of these myself, and tell you some of the ones that I just would avoid wholeheartedly. Now, there's also a Swedish silver bonus challenge, which gives you an opportunity to earn 25% silver as well, so it works for both of them. They're the exact same, except instead of being with an Italian tank, it's with a Swedish tank, and similarly, the Swedish hunters will also reward you with 25% bonus silver as well if you destroy a Swedish tank in a battle. Now, what's even better is that if you play in an Italian destroyer, then you destroy 2 enemies in a multiplayer battle, and you destroy a Swedish tank in a multiplayer battle, not only will you be getting 25% silver bonus, you will also get another 25% silver bonus. So in total, 50% silver bonus. It does kind of rely on you being able to destroy 2 tanks in multiplayer battles, and one of them being a Swedish tank. So if you can do both of those, or vice versa, if you could play a Swedish tank and you destroy 2 enemy tanks, and also destroy an Italian tank as part of that, you will get 50% bonus silver. Now, where can this be used most effectively? Well, basically, as we've said earlier, you can most effectively take advantage of this in premium tanks, because obviously they get the biggest bonus or base XP or base silver bonus out of any tank in the game, because they are premium, and that's what they're kind of used for, earning those credits. And so if you can get 50% more credits on top of the bonus that you get from the premium tank, you can be earning hundreds of thousands of silver per game. Slap on some bonus silver XP boosts, silver boosts, you can make an absolute killing, 400,000 silver a game or more. It's just crazy within World of Tanks anyway. So, you can pick up some bundles this week if you want to pick up some of the like Swedish or the Italian tanks that you haven't got, or if you already have them, absolutely fine with you. You'll be making a ton of silver if you decide to take advantage of this. Now, for this update, there will be a couple of bundles coming in. We've got the Earthshaker and the Lance and Sea that come in as ancient and free, although, Wargaming is not actually free, but yeah, 7,300 gold, just under, will pick you up this bundle at 60% off, which is actually a decent saving. That's kind of Wargaming's kind of standard now. 7,000 gold for both of these, not bad. Remember, the Lance and Sea is not the Draugen, so you won't get the Heshround pen, which kind of makes the Draugen even more broken. So the Lance and Sea is kind of an underrated version of the Draugen, and if you are going to purchase one of these bundles to get the Draugen, obviously going for the slightly more expensive one is going to be the way you want to go. You also get a tier 6 in there as well. But you do kind of have to trade off the Earthshaker, which is a brilliant medium tank at tier 8 for it. So yeah, it's a bit of a trade-off. So if you are willing to spend the 11,685 gold in order to pick up the broken Draugen, if you haven't already got it, then it will cost you that much. Now, the STRV S1, it's a decent tank destroyer. it's a Swedish tank destroyer. It's not particularly any different to the tier 8. Realistically, it's very, very similar, and so it will have a very, very similar playstyle. It's not very novel like the Draugr is, so that's kind of the trade-off as well. So depending on whether you want these 3 tanks will decide upon whether you want to actually purchase the Draugr, because if it was on its own, it would be 100% worth it, for me anyway, personally, considering how just blatantly overpowered the Draugr is. Really unsure why Wargaming decided that was okay at tier 8, and it's kind of a bit of a I'll give them a thumbs down for deciding that was actually okay for the game and the meta. Now moving on to the Italian one, we do get the Progetto M3546, which is a really, really good one, along with the Progetto M35 Mod 46. So Wargaming doing you dirty, right? Basically, they're giving you the skinned version and the non-skinned version for the price of less than the standard version of the tank. So yeah, it's kind of a bit of a rip-off personally. So it's up to you whether you want to go for that. As far as trying to make the most amount of silver out of all of these, then I would recommend playing in the Draugr Lance and see if you haven't already got it, because it just is such a strong medium tank at tier 8. It has a really high earning potential for you to be able to take advantage of these silver bonus operations as well. So for those of you looking at trying to make silver during this next week, then the Draugr Lance and Sea is the one for me. So yeah, make up your mind as to whether you want to purchase these and go ahead with it. For me personally, if you were going to buy one of these, you may as well buy it on a 60% discount, because it's actually cheaper than just buying one on its own. So you just basically get another version of it for you to play in 3 mark if you're interested in doing that sort of stuff in the game. As far as the new premium tank within this week, it is not a new premium tank, although Wargaming keeps saying it is. It is the Bone Shaker TS5. So this is one that was released as part of the Hot Wheels season on World of Tanks, and yeah, they're basically introducing this non-skinned version of the same tank and calling it new. Bit of a shod by Wargaming, but we won't go into it too much. But yeah, just letting you know that this isn't a necessarily new premium tank. But yeah, I'm all open for them to bring in a non-skinned version. I think that's just because of the licenses being so bad for Wargaming itself, with regards to, it's only a limited time, so they can't sell the Bone Shaker again after the license expired. So if you want a licensed tank like that, the Hot Wheels, the WWE kind of tanks and stuff like that, then you do have to kind of buy them when they are released. Otherwise they end the license, and then you can't actually purchase them after that. You can continue to use them after the license has ended, but Wargaming aren't allowed to sell them and make money off of something that they don't own the rights to, if that makes sense. So yeah, if you want any of the skinned ones that come into the game in the future, then definitely buy them on kind of the release, because it's not guaranteed that they will come back into the game, because Wargaming tend to not renew the licenses of old kind of licensed content. Now, moving on, in terms of the actual tank, what is good about it? Well, it has that really strong frontal armour, I guess. But the lower plate of the tank, it is kind of weak. Like, you can pen it if you load premium rounds, and certainly tier 10s will be able to pen it frontally, which is kind of annoying. So wiggling side to side is what you want to do in this tank. So moving, the front of your tank side to side, so that you're not exposing too much of a place, and it can lead to people hitting your tracks and just bouncing. So that's kind of what you want to do after you've fired in this tank, and then you can kind of decide from there what you want to do and move forward or advance, and use the good gun that this thing gets to be able to actually take out your enemies pretty quickly, because the DPM I think is actually fairly decent. Nothing fantastic, but it's a decent tank that you might enjoy if you enjoy that kind of playstyle, the T95 playstyle. Decent aim time, terrible accuracy, which is not particularly very fun, but what it does offer is, because it's so slow, going only 26 kilometers an hour forward, means that you will actually be able to be fairly accurate, because you're not moving at too high of a speed where your bloom goes out, which is always good. So kind of take that into advantage when you're in this tank. Now, here comes the shoddy bit, I guess. Well, I say shoddy, but is it worth it, basically? 12,550 gold if you want to purchase it tomorrow, as of the recording of this video on the 1st of June. Expensive. That is very, very expensive for a tier 8 premium tank, although, you know, if we have a look at the other one, you can buy the Dragonlance and see the STRV M4257, which is a really good one, and the STRV for less of a cost than this one. And trust me when I say the Dragonlance and C is probably twice as good as this tank. It's so much more opportunistic, so if you're going to purchase it, probably go with some of the other bundles if you haven't already got these tanks. If you've got all of these then and you want to spend more money, then go ahead, but for me personally, it's not the one I'd go for. But at the end of the day, where you spend your money is always up to you, so I'm never going to say you should never buy it, but yeah, I don't think that this is a good value for money, so yeah, do what you want with that kind of concept. Now, if you want to wait a little bit longer to reduce the cost, it will be able to come available for 11,865 gold. So that removes this 30 days of premium and you get the reduced cost, but you do have to wait a week after it's released. And then with Wargaming's usual strategy is then 2 weeks after its initial first release, it will be just the base model, just the tank on its own, without the 2D hero commander that you can get with this for just 10,185 gold. So I guess if you are not bothered about like picking it up straight away, then you can pick it up on the 15th of June for this price for you to actually pick it up, and hopefully you make the right decision, you decide what you want to do, and then pick a date at which point you're willing to pay however much it is for the tank if you're interested in it. If you want a little bit more detail, one of my last news videos, if you go back on the channel, actually looked at the armor model of this tank, so that if you want to have a look at what kind of values it will have and the kind of likely playstyle that you want to be using, then that video will probably be very useful for you. Other than that, that is everything we've got so far. I will cover all of the bundles tomorrow, so if you're interested in the update news for tomorrow and the patch notes and stuff like that, they come out on a Tuesday, and I will cover them all for you. Other than that, if you want to check out more content, it will be on screen right now, and I hope to see you back for the next video. Goodbye.